Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Cody Sheaver in for Eugene Daniel. We are less than 70 days away from midterm elections and President Trump is blaming his Attorney General for hurting the Republican Party's chances. In a tweet, Trump writing 2 easy wins now in doubt. Good job, Jeff. President Trump criticizing Jeff Sessions for indicting 2 Republican congressmen, one who is accused of insider trading and another who is accused of misusing campaign funds for personal expenses. That criticism as Trump prepares to hit the road this week to campaign for Republicans, all while concerns of impeachment are growing louder.
It seems to be that he was surrounded by people who engaged in some less than stellar behavior, but he himself doesn't seem to have been implicated directly in a lot of this so far. So without that kind of smoking gun, without something really tangible for members of the House and the Senate to point to, I can't imagine him being impeached.
Asked recently if he fears impeachment if Democrats win the House, Trump telling Bloomberg News, "I don't think they can impeach somebody that's doing a great job." Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing entered its second day Wednesday. One of the questions Kavanaugh faced related to concerns about President Trump in the Russia investigation. If appointed, it's possible Kavanaugh could be called upon to rule on a challenge to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Democrats fear Kavanaugh might harbor a bias in favor of President Trump that could affect his ruling on the matter.
No one is above the law in our constitutional system. Federalist 69 Hamilton makes clear all the ways that the executive branch as designed by the framers of the Constitution was different from the monarchy.
Over the next few days of Kavanaugh's hearing, he is expected to face a grilling from Democrats on other issues including abortion and health care. The House-Senate Conference Committee begins its efforts to hash out a compromise on the Farm Bill. Anna Warnicki from our D.C. Bureau reports that lawmakers from both parties in both the House and Senate are not optimistic they can work out their differences before the current Farm Bill expires at the end of the month.
Let's not pretend that we're not in a bad spot right now in agriculture.
North Dakota Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp says America's farmers are in crisis.
We hear all about this great economy. Guess where it isn't? It isn't in farm country.
Heitkamp says it's up to the 56 lawmakers on the Farm Bill Conference Committee to change that.
They need to know that this body can deliver certainty and a farm bill on time.
The committee members have until the end of the month to iron out their differences and produce a final farm bill that includes everything from crop insurance to rural broadband. North Dakota Republican Senator John Hoeven says he's ready to compromise to meet the September 30th deadline.
The House passed a good product, the Senate passed a good product. I think we actually can combine these 2 bills and get a better product.
But not everyone on the committee is willing to budge. Massachusetts Democratic Congressman Jim McGovern says he won't support a bill that includes work requirements for food stamp recipients.
What the House did is a rotten deal for poor people, and it would make hunger worse.
The House bill says Americans between 18 and 59 years old who are able to work must do so in order to qualify for the SNAP food stamp program. Texas Republican Congressman Jody Arrington says the goal is to get people out of the welfare system altogether.
We're not talking about vulnerable people. We're not talking about the aged. We're talking about people who are work capable.
Conferees only have a few weeks to work out their differences before the current bill expires on September 30th. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
Employees at Peora's Pere Marquette Hotel are looking forward to new ownership. Next Tuesday, the hotel complex will be going on the auction block. Earlier this year, the Pere Marquette was originally set to be auctioned off, but developer Gary Matthews and his partners declared bankruptcy. While the Pere Marquette has not been allowed to make internet bookings since May, managers believe business will be back to normal by next month.
The resiliency of this staff has been tested over and over and over, and one of the blessings is it is resilient. They are a great staff. So really right now it is, I would say, anticipation. I don't think there's a lot of trepidation. I think everybody's ready to be done. Everybody wants a new beginning, and I think at this point, everybody's just kind of a relief that it is going to happen.
With the auction, the city of Peoria will receive $3 million in property tax revenue. Jury selection began today in the trial of a Chicago police officer accused of shooting Laquan McDonald in 2014. Chicago officer Jason Van Dyke is accused of shooting the 17-year-old after he says McDonald ignored orders to drop the knife he was carrying. The case sparked public outcry and large protests. The family of the teen is calling for peace and justice as the trial gets underway.
We are conscious that Laquan McDonald represents all of the victims of police violence against citizens in this city and in this county. However, we're asking for complete peace. We don't want any violence before, during, or after the verdict.
Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who was criticized for his handling of the body cam footage, announced yesterday he will not seek re-election. Students at a local college met with campus police this morning to learn about what they can do in an emergency situation. Bradley University held a presentation that went over how the campus responds when a crisis occurs. Police want to remind students that they should be prepared for any situation and to remember that following basic safety rules can help as a reinforcement for larger occurrences.
Whether that's a tornado, whether that's a protest, whether that's an active shooter situation or a fire or an explosion, something like that, we have plans in place and making sure that people understand that we have the plan and then understand what their role is in the plan.
Chief Joshko also says that the college has many ways to communicate with their students in an emergency situation. This includes a text message service, Twitter, and email. Residents of Galesburg may soon be getting help with removing lead from their homes. The city today announced a grant for qualified applicants. 21 homes are estimated to receive funding between $15,000 and $20,000 to assist with the lead removal related tasks. To qualify for the grant, applicants must live in an owner-occupied home within Galesburg city limits. For questions and other requirements, residents can contact the city at 309-837-3941.